I just found like a feather. Where did a feather come from? I don't have any feathers. Is this like an omen? Where did a feather come from? I mean, I think it's dyed, right? Sure. That definitely came from like a fabric order, and I just didn't realize it was in there, and then like it got transferred to something, right? It's not. Hello. Hello. I can't do it now. Hello, and welcome to the Fat Squirrel Speaks. I'm Amy Beth. I'm your hostess. I'm also known as the Fat Squirrel on Ravelry. And I gotta put this feather down because it's distracting me. Fat Squirrel on Ravelry and the Fat SQRRL on Instagram. This is episode 305. It's Wednesday. It's November. It's the last Wednesday of November. Hi, how are you? Thanks for coming over and experiencing random feather finding with me. Ding! I'm looking at Gus like he somehow is a culprit. It's not like a feather. I think it's like a costuming feather. Like it probably was literally. I just bought some wool, like some wool fabric, and it probably was just stuck because it was here. It was probably just stuck on that, and then like when I moved it. But it is still very weird. Okay. Oh. How are you? Thanks for coming over. I did take the color changing hedgehog cup. I didn't realize you were coming over, so I'm sorry. I did take it, but there's lots of other good cups. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'll save it for you next time. How do you feel about Rubios? I can't decide. Like I constantly go back and forth between being like, this is very delicious, and then me being like, this is like too like full. I don't know. This is too organic. This is too, I don't know. I can't tell how I feel about Rubios. I just can't decide. Anyway, how do you feel about Rubios? Please feel free to comment below. I would love to know what your take is. Sometimes, like, if I just can understand why I'm feeling conflicted about something, then I can either make a decision with my like logic brain as to why I like it or don't like it. Sometimes I cannot understand what I'm actually feeling, so I need to think. That was like definitely like a neurodivergent moment for you. Anyway, Gus is here. I'm petting him. Let's talk about, do we have some administration? Today's episode will have administration. It will have some nonsense. It will have knitting. Oh my gosh, I did start spinning, but I didn't bring the bobbin over. But oh my gosh, I spun something. And in fact, look, this is my base 12 spin along with hip strings. The thing I started spinning was one of their custom blends, like their milled fibers. And like I have like a conflicted feeling about milled fibers. Like they're definitely one of those things that like when you have not spun with them a lot, it is harder to understand what's going to happen with them, because they're kind of like, lots of times they have lots of like they have like lots of colors or lots of variations of color, and so it's kind of hard for me to understand sometimes what that's going to look like, because it's almost like when you blend a bat and you go, you're really like, the more you blend the bat, the more like unified it looks, so the color becomes unified, and sometimes that can create muddiness, but sometimes it can just create like a cool kind of dyed in the wool effect. So I'm kind of I don't think I'm experienced enough to tell what's going to happen, but I started spinning their like warm winter mittens that I bought last year. And I love the way it looks on the bobbin so far. So I was like, oh, And then I was asking some folks what they recommended for like a spinning advent, and somebody said that actually 2 or 3 people said that they loved the hip strings one. So I was like, ooh, and I just happened to find it when it was available, so I'm very excited. And like the packaging is super cute too. It also came in like a cotton like a muslin drawstring bag that had been like screen printed with their information. It comes with like a packet that tells you like how to do things, and like I'm so excited. And it's also mathy. That's very fun, Gus. It's very fun. Gus is itchy, so he might want to be up here so I can scratchel him. Fall allergies, dude. Right? So anyway, so I didn't bring the spinning over. The feather is just tormenting me. I didn't bring the spinning over, but trust me, maybe next time I'll actually have some to show you. Wouldn't that be crazy? Bazam. But so in the administration, there was something else. There was this, but there was we're gonna do patron virtual knit nights. So the Friday after, like, so this Friday, which is the last Friday of November, there will be one at 9 p.m. Eastern. I think we're daylight, right? Like the normal Eastern time, like New York City time. There will be one at 9 p.m. And then there will be one on this Sunday, so the last Sunday of November at noon. And I'll put links in the patron group, like on Patreon, like 10 minutes-ish before they start. If you would like to join me, that would be so fun, okay? Let's see. Yeah. I still need to get you that garter stitch in the round video. And then the other administrative thing I'm doing, I'm feeling very conflicted about. But I've been wanting to move some shawls out of my life for quite some time now. And I thought, well, maybe I should do that, like, this weekend. Like, and I'm still kind of debating whether I should put them on eBay or if I should put them on the website with, like, a fixed price. Part of me just wants to put them on eBay because most of them have not been worn. Some of them have been worn, like, once or twice. But part of me just wants to put them on eBay because that way, like, let the free market decide, right? Like, if we have to live in this, like, crazy no holds barred, oh my gosh, don't even get me started about the Fed. I will actually talk about the Fed in just a minute. That at least, I don't know, I can't decide. Yeah, I'll put that, I'll put it in the YouTube notes, or I'll put it on, you know, I have a blog, thefatsquirrel.com. No. Yes. Yes, that's my blog. Okay, I'll put it on thefatsquirrel.com and tell you what's going to happen, but I'm going to list them this weekend. I'm thinking they might just be eBay, just because that way I don't have to, like, think. Because part of me was like, well, I could sell them for, like, the cost of materials, like, do, like, a sample, like, where you do cost of materials plus, like, anywhere from 10 to 25 cents a yard. And then part of me was just like, maybe I'll just put the money. So here, okay guys, you gotta get down, buddy. Here, I'll show you just briefly. And I'll, yeah. So here we go. There's this one, and these are all imperfect. Like, these are not custom made just for you. There will be imperfections. I will make sure that if there's, I will not sell something that has like holes or anything, but you know, there might be an end that's not perfectly woven in, or a drop stitch somewhere, or no, there won't be any drop stitches that I know of, but you know what I mean. Like, they will be imperfect, which is another reason I'm like, let's just put them on eBay, because I feel like if I was actually making a sample for a shop, it would be closer to perfect. And this kind of gives me like an out. So anyways, I have this fun chevron-y one that's like a DK weight. And then of course you can always just cannibalize them for the yarn, right? Like, that's the other thing that's fun. And I have this beautiful Brooklyn tweed worsted weight one that's this gorgeous stole shape, just like a long rectangle. It's so beautiful. It's just so squishy and soft. And I have like, this one that's from Barrett Wool's home worsted weight, which is like a fun color combination one. And I have this dotted rays in like a million colors, right? Dotted rays. So this is a ginormous one. but it's really beautiful, but I just don't wear it. So yeah. What else do I have? Oh no, I shouldn't do that one because that one I've worn several times. I probably shouldn't do that one either. I don't know. This one might go up. This hand spun one is just like a little simple guy, but she's really beautiful. This is another Stephen West, and of course these are not reflecting on the yarns used or the design. Like, it is in no way a reflection on that. It is just a situation where I really like to knit shawls, but I don't need 9,000 of them. So this is another, like, building. Is it Building Blocks or Building by Stephen West? And like Miss Babs, and another Stephen West. It's this fun one. Whee! It's like crazy triangle one. And this is actually a great one to wear like under a coat, like if you wear a winter coat, because you can fold it in half, and like the shape of it is just like perfect for like an actual just scarf. Right? So fun. What else? Oh, and then I have the bananas dotted. The bananas fade, like, right. This would be a good one to cannibalize for shawling for yarn because it's got lots of great hand dyes in it. Right. So yeah, I think I'm going to put those up. And one more, because I finished one this week that I'm going to put up too. But I'm going to show you that in finished objects. So yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Check thefatsquirrel.com. I probably will just put them up on eBay, so. Silliness, right? Maybe you get a shawl for like $1. I don't know. Right? So anyways, if you need a gift for somebody that you're like, oh, I like you, but I would rather spend money on you than give you my time. You know you have friends like that. Okay, so that goes in that pile. Sorry, there was also like me gathering things for the wool aid pile. Okay. That's all the administration, I think. Then let's chit chat. What have you been doing this week? What have you been doing? I have had a very, I'm just going to admit that I'm like pedestrian, and that like I have had like a very Andrew Wyeth week, like a couple of weeks where I've just been like, November is beautiful, but like also stark, but also beautiful, and cold but warm. Like I've just been having like a very like, again, I know, like I'm sure if you're fancy that you're like, whatever, I still like Andrew Wyeth. I can't help it. And I'm sure that if I knew more about him, I would feel more conflicted, but I enjoy his work. And in fact, I already know some about him, and I already do feel conflicted. Like, let's just discuss that his, like, muse, like, in his later life was really young. Historical people are conflicting. But I do really like. I can't help it. Like, I don't really like yeah, I don't know. I can't like, what is it, Christine's World? I can't like that one. Like, I do feel too conflicted about that one. Like, the woman who is supposed to be the subject of that painting had polio, and like, there's this whole thing where there's there had to be a lot of, like, really intense poverty where he grew up, because it talks about how she would, like, the very brief story I know of it. And, like, it's through his lens, right? Like, this is his telling of it. So I don't know what her words are on this subject at all. But his telling of it is that she had polio as a child, and so did not have the use of her legs, and that she would carry, like, she would drag herself to the wood pile and then, like, gather wood and drag herself back. And, like, you can look at that as, like, a really, like, bootstrappy kind of story, but that's not how I look at it. I look at it as like, did Christine really want to do that? Did Christine feel like she had to prove her value by doing that? Like, there's like a lot of other factors in there that I feel real conflicted about. So I can't separate that painting from it. But the other ones I am able to. Because I don't know enough about them, apparently. Anyway, that was a strange tangent. But anyway, so I've been having, like, we were just been, like, you know, walking the dogs, and there's, like, all the trees are just, like, most of the leaves are gone, but there's still gold ones just hanging on, like, all brittly and rustly, and, like, the trunks, like, we have quite a few sycamores on the walk, and the trunks are gorgeous. We had not a good ginkgo year this year. Did you guys have a good ginkgo year? We really did not have a good ginkgo year here. We didn't last year either, did we? I should start keeping track of these things. That's how you know you're getting old. When you're like, I should keep a journal so I literally can refer back to it. Because I would, like, my 20-year-old self would not really care if the ginkgos were that good the last year or not. But now I'm like, oh, I do think the ginkgos were not good last year. Anyway, but the sycamores have been so beautiful. They're just all like white, patchy bark, and they're so pretty, and they're just the rust. They're giant. Anyway, it's just how it feels. So I tried to watch that. There was an American Masters one on him, and I feel like I have watched in the past, but I may just be like making that up. But now it's not on PBS anymore. I have to buy it. But I did watch this like old documentary, like I think it was from the 80s, and on YouTube, and it was, the film quality of it felt so nostalgic. Like, that's how I've been feeling. I've been feeling like painfully nostalgic, but not even for anything that is actually my own past. Like, it's like I'm feeling nostalgic, but like there's like for something that I don't have, but it's also just not like me being sad about not having it. I don't know how to explain it. It's really a multi-layered feeling. But like a friend posted this. Dude, I do not have ovaries anymore, but there are still hormones. A friend posted this link to a catalog, a seed catalog listing of these pumpkins that you can stack like cordwood, because they're shaped like a log, and like there was a picture of somebody's like sunroom porch or whatever with like these pumpkins stacked as cordwood, and like it has brought me to tears to think about that so many times. And what? I have been looking on Zillow for houses in Maine like you could not believe. I can't move to Maine. I'm an only child. I can't move to Maine. It's just weird. I don't know. Do you get those periods where you're just like melancholy? But like not in like a scary way, just like in this like way. I don't know how to explain it. It is, I probably just need to sit with it and like actually not fill my head with other stuff for a minute and like actually try to process it. But no, thank you. But like, anyway, those stupid pumpkins, like every time I think of them I almost cry. I'm not a crier either. Like, it's just, I get wells of emotion. Like, it's like hearing a choir sing. It's like that vibrato of like people's combined energy just makes me feel like all, it's like something about that. Like, is that like some sort of like weird Jungian, oh, what's that? You know, like there's the stuff below, like we're all collectively doing stuff and it's like in the pool beneath and like sometimes it wells up. Like, what is that called? I can't remember what that's called. You're going to tell me. But like the collective unconscious, like just maybe that's what it is. Like the collective unconscious is like bubbling up in a weird way. And it's like allowing me to feel sadness for this thing that I didn't even experience, but like is a collective experience all the same. And like even that stupid documentary of him, like it was enjoyable, by the way, and it's free. It's on YouTube. It's 2 parts, and like again, I cannot discuss to you how like the just remember how film used to just not be quite so vibrant, and like it was just a little bit more muted, and you constantly are thinking, is that because like the world just didn't have as much color then? Because like there is the reality of like synthetic dyes and like more clothing, so there's more color, and like, do you know what I mean? Like there is some sort of basis to that, I think, and like home textiles and stuff being more faded because they've been used longer. So I do think that there is like an actual premise to that, like that it's not universal. Like, you know, Versailles had a million colors or whatever, and like wealthy people had a million colors, and like everybody had the lead green and they were all dying or whatever, arsenic green or whatever, and they were all dying. But like I do think that there was like a different color palette for like working everyday people that was much more muted. Anyway, this has, and it's like the same like nostalgia I feel for like watching British television shows where like they're like filming somebody in their home and like the wallpaper doesn't cover the whole wall, but like is like like is worn off in an area, and like that was acceptable. Like, not that like that, I don't want to be like, I'm not naive to the realities of poverty. Like, please don't think of it as that. But like we don't ever get to see that anymore. And so it's like everything has to be to a higher standard, right? Like, and I'm not saying that like, oh, we should just let people have, like, it's not that. It is like that we don't ever see people having less because our lens is just so weird anymore. Like the lens of the media just shows, it doesn't show us the reality of like everyday people's lives. And if you do see somebody's everyday life, it has to be curated in a different way. Like there's totally a hole in my wall, like where the plaster has gone, and I don't ever show you that because like I feel like I can't. I don't know. That's just like, I should probably not have just thanks for coming over and processing things with me. But anyway, it just gives me feelings. It gives me the feelings. All of the feelings I have. And I can't quite sort them out. But yeah. What else was I don't know. The feathers. So yeah. Pumpkins stack like cordwood, and 80s documentary interviews just killing me, making me want to move to Maine, live in a quiet place, mostly by myself. Life. But also then, okay, so that's, okay, that was a lot. You're probably like, dude, shush. Whatever, American Masters. Oh, because I started this whole thing because I watched the Flannery O'Connor American Masters. Yet another, like, art is pain. Anyway, so there was that, there's that. And then I watched this stupid Nightline. I'll take, like, all of that, Morose. I watched the stupid Nightline about the power of the Fed. You can find it on YouTube, but it's also on PBS. So if you worked on PBS, like, hey, that's the better way to go. And it's not like got the blue star on it yet. So you can just watch it if you're not a member. But oh my gosh, you've got to watch it. Like if you're like, I know we have a Federal Reserve, and like I know it's an important thing, and I know it has a lot to do with the economics, and you're like, I roughly kind of think I understand they set interest rates, and like there's something about inflation that we're hearing. Dude, bananas. Bananas. Like I got so incensed. Because there's like all of this trickle down economic stuff that's still happening, even though like we have like shown that this is not, like, they don't call it trickle down economics anymore, but it's exactly what it is. And like you know that it's happening, but like this is like very concrete, like where you can clearly see with like the Fed's rescuing of the banks, during like the 2007, is it 2007 or 2008? I can never remember. 7, right? And then also with like the rescue of like Wall Street and COVID, and like how, because like we're seeing all this stuff about how like the billionaire like class is just like ballooning in a crazy way, like in a way that is like hard to understand in any way. And like, I don't know, I feel like the message I get is that like it's your fault because you bought from Amazon, because they do have a convenient service and they will bring groceries to your house. Like that's the like the feeling I get for like why, right? Do you get that feeling? I get that feeling, right? Like that it's like, well, if you would have just bought that thing that you literally cannot buy locally, if you would have just found a way to buy that locally, like Amazon would not be in power. And like, yes, like I'm not trying to like deny my culpability. True. But like also just like the insane wealth building like generation that occurs in Wall Street is just like so much more insane than okay that I are currently understand, but it's like infinitely more insane than I previously understood. And like, dude, it is not completely my fault that Amazon is in charge of the world. I'm just saying. And then like this is just like such a self. Okay, I gotta stop. But if you're interested in that kind of stuff, dude, watch it. Also, you will totally get so angry at one of the guys. He's like the chairman of the reserve in like Minnesota or something. Oh my gosh. That guy. Oh, another bald guy that I'm done with. I have nothing against bald guys, actually. Not at all. But like, that guy, out. He's talking about like, because the interviewer is like, so like, you know, he's talking about like, so what, you know, like clearly like this latest economic stimulus to the Wall Street and all this stuff, like buying out bad debts, but that like, clearly that's really benefited the investing class, like to the detriment, like exponentially more than it has. Okay, they maybe not said the word exponentially, but you know what I mean. Much, much more than it has impacted the working class in a positive way. And he's like, I mean, the only people I get complaining in here are people who are Wall Street people. He's like, working people don't complain. Working people are just like, please give us jobs with living wages. And that's what we've done. And yes, if it benefits the wealthy, well then. Did that guy listen to himself? Did that guy listen to himself? Did that guy listen to himself? I'm not even going to get into it. It's incensed. That guy. That's been highly enjoyable. Oh my gosh, but then if you need a positive thing to do. Okay, so I've been parsing. Potato. I've been saving my maintenance phase podcasts because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna run out. So I started listening to You're Wrong About, which is Matt's, Michael Hobbs. I do remember saying, and Sarah Marshall. Marshall? I think so. Their podcast. And like I've been listening to it from the beginning. It's highly enjoyable. I recommend it 100%. No holds barred. Excellent use of your time. It will make you think about not only the subject, but like about media's role in general. And it will really like make your brain go, especially if you're a person who has lived in a time when there was not the internet, or at least not the internet as we know it now. It is pretty fascinating. But if you're just looking for like a fun thing that'll make you be like, oh, right at the beginning of the COVID in the US, they started doing like more episodes. One of the things they did is they would do like, they called it like a book group or something like that. But it wasn't like you needed to read the book. Basically, they were just going to tell you about the book they were reading. And it is highly enjoyable. But especially the biography of Jessica Simpson. Dude, I laughed I cried. I identified. It was lovely. I highly recommend it. So enjoyable. Not kidding you, it was very enjoyable. And then it's so, oh well, whatever. I am just enjoying them so much. And if you're just looking for something light and like fun and like heartwarming, that's a great one. But also like thoughtful. Do you know what I mean? They don't have to be separate from each other. Although sometimes they are. Okay, so that was it. Okay, I think that's all of it. There's just like my notes under the Power of the Fed. That dude! Exclamation point. And then trickle down economics, double exclamation point. Should we talk about knitting? Sure. Okay, we'll do it. So I finished my little, so I'll show you my wool aid things that I finished. I finished my little sweater vest. Isn't it so cute? So this is hand spun. This is Nest Fiber Studio. That's whose name I couldn't remember. It's hand spun on the top, and then Debbie Bliss Donna Gale Chunky or something on the bottom. And I know, right? Doesn't it look snuggly and warm? And I said something silly. I said that the cartridge rib. Last time we talked, I said something about the cartridge rib. You don't ever have to purl. I was high. I don't know what I was thinking. Actually, I do know what I was thinking. I think I remembered reading that in the, like somehow my brain read that in the pattern description and I was like, oh, but I don't think that's what it said because that's not what it is. So cartridge rib is just knit one, purl one on one row and then stocking it on the other. So yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. But it's very enjoyable. Things I did different is I added some extra rows in the back to hopefully help set it on the body a little bit better. And then I actually just joined to work in the round. The pattern is written so you knit flat and then seam, but I was like, dude, hello. So yeah, so there's that. And oh, what pattern is that, you might ask? Let's see. I don't have my bifocals on, so there may be some tilting of glasses and figuring things out, but that's okay. Oh my gosh. So also, did you see Katie Green? I know you're going to ask me. Did you see Katie Greenbean's new pattern? It's, okay, by the way, like I did buy it. By the way, this is the cover of the pattern. I did not buy the kit. I was so proud of myself. Oh, that's right. There's not a pattern of a picture of the finished object in the pattern because she said she had to send it to printer before she could get photos. But see this swirl sweater? See, it's got like a little beautiful mushroom yoke. It's that. Only a cardigan. It's darling. I mean, it's extra drawn. It's a cardigan, but it is so cute. So I know you might ask about it, but also these earrings are the ones from like Lithuania or whatever. She makes such beautiful things. And like, what is her name? Okay, so the earrings are by Murava Ceramics. It's Murava Ceramics. And she's on Etsy and Instagram. Just saying. She is in Belarus. Okay, what else are we doing? That's right. I started to look for the pattern name of this little sweater. It was a free pattern. And it's called the Timbo Vest, and that is by Gabriella Calderini. So it's Timbo Vest, and this is what it looks like. Right, very cute. Nice little simple thing. Highly enjoyable. And then I have this bananas hat, which I started to show you last time. Right, this is from Spinoff Fall of 2005. It's called Doubly Warm Rainbow Hat by Susan Douglas. And so this is hand spun. Right? So it's actually like boop. So you knit this like garter band in the middle flat and then you pick up on each edge for the hat top. And I ran out of hand spun right here on the second hat. So I just knitted with a combination of Noro and like a Knit Picks Chroma single ply. So it's such a warm little hat. I hope nobody thinks it's like the dorkiest thing ever. Because that's the other thing that happens at this time of year. I'm just going to start calling, like, you know how we have the beaver moon or whatever. Like, I'm just going to start calling November like my Andrew Wyeth Elizabeth Zimmer moon. Because Zimmer moon. I did that by accident. Because this time of year I also go bananas for like nostalgic garter stitchy things, and I want to knit all of the Elizabeth Zimmerman things. I don't know. In the spring I need to reread the first of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and then in the fall apparently I just look at Andrew Wyeth videos and Elizabeth Zimmerman patterns. What that's about. But anyway, so I find this so terribly charming, and it is like super stinking warm, but like also fun. I really dig it. So this pattern is not available in print anywhere else. I literally bought the entire episode, the entire issue of Spin-Off so that I could have this pattern. But you can like totally figure it out, right? Like I'm not telling you what it is, but this is like in the picture on Ravelry. Like you could figure it out. But yeah, I think this actually might be a good hat for my husband, with some modifications. He's like a weirdo who doesn't. Okay, now that I'm like, this is the other. Okay, never mind. We're not talking about that. He is a weirdo, but like, I think I understand more why he's a weirdo now. Does that tell you anything? Anyway. So what is happening? I don't know what's going on there. Okay. So what else? Okay, those are my finished objects. And then, let's see, did I work any more? I don't think I worked any more on my little brioche rib hat. I don't think I did. Or if I did, you wouldn't be able to tell. I started some double fingering weight. This I think is what was called the blueberry waffle sock. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, but it's basically just like 2x2 rib alternated with 2 rows of stockinette, like 2 rows of rib, 2 rows of stockinette. And I have a pair of socks I'm wearing right now that are a double fingering weight marigold gen. And so I really do love them. And I thought, I have this beautiful yarn that was from oh no, where is all my skeins? I reorganized things and now I can't find it. Oh, I can't remember. She's not dying anymore. Why can't I remember? Oh, that's right, because it's me. Anyway, she's not dying anymore, but I have this beautiful superwash Tarhi, and I started the sock, and it's just on old school double points, and I'm enjoying it immensely. Because I have to have something small to knit on, because sometimes both the dogs need to sit on my lap at night, and I don't have room for anything larger. Or like sometimes my sciatica acts up and I can't put my feet up. I have to sit like a normal human being, and then the dog is like on top of me. And I did cast on a little mitt cuff. I haven't gone any further because hello, life. And this is out of some Noro that I had. Just like the little 2 stripes stockinette, 2 and 2, one end of the ball, one end of the other ball. Beginning of the ball, end of the ball, alternate the 2 stripes and make a little mitten. No pattern. Well, maybe a pattern. There is a pattern. I think that's literally a pattern. Okay, look. I'm looking it up. Okay, got that. Got the rainbow hat. So what is it? No, that's not it. I've been going down a super crazy sideways mittens hole, garter stitch mittens, and I am enjoying it. Maybe it's not. I mean, I know that it's a print, but a pattern, but maybe I didn't actually download it. I'm such a mess. Okay, it's actually a thing and I did download it. Noro striped and lined mittens patterned by Kelly Ziegler. Ziegler. Noro striped and lined. So you just line them. Because that's the thing about mittens for me. I like mittens, but they're often not really that warm unless you felt them or lined them. I mean, they're okay, but they're not like... Or you knit them to such a tight gauge that like it's not pleasant to knit them. You strand them. There's lots of ways to make them warmer, but I'm just saying. So I think I'm going to line them. Although that's a lot of knitting. We'll see. I might take it apart and do a sideways garter. Because I do like... I had a pair of mittens that I made myself that were sideways garter, and I loved them, but then I lost them. And I really did just make the pattern up like a lunatic. So I have been looking at Elizabeth Zimmerman, and maybe I'll do some like silly, fun sideways mitts. And then the last thing I have to show you... Yeah, I have to put those shawls on eBay because now Gus is just laying in them like into the bed. He doesn't shed. It's okay. I'll wash them before you get them. That's another thing. I will wash and reblock these shawls before you get them. Oh, he looks so cute. Maybe I should just make them a Gus bed. No, that's silly. I also have my Skippy. My Hillary Fluff and the Magic Fungi sweater that is by Bunny Muff Mona Zilla. And did you, by the way, like, look how cute I am with my little paper clip. It's a mushroom paper clip, which you can also use to... Camera, why must you make me look so foolish? You're like, that's not the camera's fault. Hush, I heard you. You can also use this to put on your cables as a cable stopper. Other people that sell cable stoppers are the beautiful Gel Bee, and then Tangerine Designs also sells these like in smaller quantities than you have to buy them from like a stationery store or whatever. Yeah, right. And so I literally was splitting for the sleeves before I could record. I knew I needed to record a little earlier because the light was better, but I had to split for these sleeves. And I have. Yes. Okay, it looks so cute, right? This is definitely not like, if you're newer to the podcast, you might think this is my color palette, but it's not. Like, this is just a very new like thing for me. But I think I really like it. Like when I'm close up to it, sometimes I'm like, but like this is how it looks. Like, you know what I mean? Like when you're wearing it, I mean you are wearing it and it's close to your body, but you know what I mean? Like it's a complete visual experience, not just like a small base. And I think I do like it. Oh, right. So it's a steeked cardigan. And I am knitting mine with mostly with Ralma Finul, and you're right. I think so. I don't know what I said earlier, a while ago. It's mostly with this, but there's also some Briggs and Little Sport Weight that I buy from Maritime Fiber, but also Schoolhouse Press sells Briggs and Little, but I don't think they sell the Sport Weight. Why do I know? It definitely wasn't on their site. And then also some Bartlett yarns. I could not think of it. Bartlett yarns. So yay! Oh, and there's also even a little tiny bit of Quince & Company in the honey colorway. So yes, I'm very excited about it. And it's so fun to knit. Even when I had 560 stitches before I split my arms. Dude, being a fat lady, it's rough. It's rough, yo. What else? Oh my gosh. Oh, so then I have some shameless self-promotion, and then maybe we'll just then we should just stop. I was gonna say, maybe we should talk about what we would knit our Katie Greenbean's fairy ring sweater with. Do you want to talk about that really quickly? Okay, so the yarn that she uses is beautiful, and there are kits available. You can find more information on her website, on her Instagram, and I apologize, I cannot think of the mill, but the yarn looks gorgeous. And the mill also does really cute zoom things every once in a while. That's what it is. I think it's John Arbin. Yeah, John Arbin Textiles is the producer of the yarn. Oh, here's a picture of it. Oop. So there's Katie Greenbean. She has a podcast. It's lovely. She does a beautiful Instagram page where she posts pictures of the cutest dog in the world and also all of the moors and lichen, and it's very highly, highly enjoyable. So the yarn company is selling kits. They are based in the UK. And so I was also like, so that yarn is gorgeous, but I was also like wondering like what I could buy domestically that might work. And I was thinking that, the reason I thought about it is because I got that skein of Bartlett out. Bartlett would be really fun for it. The yarn is DK, but it's 6 stitches to the inch. So that's kind of like on that sport DK like line. So I was thinking Bartlett would be really fun for it, but they don't have a brown that I love. They have this, they call it mixed heather, or maybe it's just dark heather. They have this yarn that I love that is this beautiful, like warm pinky gray. Like it's kind of like, almost like it looks like it's stone or something, like a warm flecked stone. But I've never bought a brown from them, and I don't think that it's something that I don't have a brown that I really love. But they do have a green that I think would be really pretty for the body of the sweater. And then they do sell like minis that you could get for like the little fungi, which would be super cute. But anyway, so Bartlett is a great one. I think Bartlett is a great yarn. It's super durable, but it is scratchier. So if you're very sensitive to scratchiness, I understand. But the reason I love it is because I feel like I can wear it and not be at all delicate with it. And I have a yoked sweater that I made with it, and it's really just such an enjoyable knit. And I just enjoy knitting with it. And it's a very good value. Like if you're looking for a value that's a domestic wool and a domestic yarn, it's a great value if you buy it in the cone. Now it does have some spinning wool grease. It does have a little bit more of that in it because it's primarily sold for weavers. But I love to knit with it because it has that on there, so you can knit it at a slightly looser gauge and then it will bloom to fill up any gaps that you have. So like for me, it's just more comfortable to knit loosely, but I don't really love the way loose knitting looks, and it's not as durable. So that's a great option. I was thinking Ralma might also be good, but I knit Ralma just a little bit too tight, I think. Like my Ralma gauge is more like 7 stitches to the inch. Maybe it was 6.5 stitches. Maybe her pattern's, you know what, I think it's 20, I can't remember. I think it's 6 stitches. So like Ralma's probably too fine. But what else? I was thinking that Juniper Moon's Patagonia, which is a merino yarn, it's not a domestic wool, but it is a very good price. I think it's like, well, right, like it's a good price. Like whose price is it good for? But it feels like it lays kind of like in the middle of the range. Like it maybe even, it's I think $16 a yard, but there is a ton of yardage. I want to say that the skeins are like 320 or something yards. So it's got very good yardage and it is very soft. To me, it is very soft. I could definitely wear it next to skin. But yeah, I mean, there's tons of other great options, right? But those were the ones. And the nice thing about the Juniper Moon is they have a really great brown, like a very nice brown. And I think you could get the whole color. You could definitely get the whole, like all the colors you would need in their line. But yeah, I don't know. Oh, so then let's talk about shameless self-promotion. So if you're done, I'll totally see you next time. But if you want to hang around, I'm having a shop update December 1st. And here are the bags. So there's a slight, oh, I'm kind of excited about them, but I don't know how you're going to feel. But let's show you the normal ones first. Okay, I have these super sweet Sleepy Town. Right, with your snowy trees. This is a large wedge, so it's great for up to three skeins. And I just think it's so peaceful and sweet. So good for all winter. And then I have, I mean, come on, dude. There's a squirrel in a scarf. There's mushrooms everywhere. Like, it's, I mean, this is a Ray Ritchie print, and I just love all of her illustrations so much. It is hard for me not just to be like, just give me everything she makes, and I'll just sew it all up. But her woodland jam is really my favorite. Oh, so cute. I mean, look, this chipmunk has earmuffs on. Do you know how tiny chipmunk ears are? Oh my gosh. So cute. And then in sweater size, or in Aran sweater size, I'm sorry, that's a sweater. This is an Aran sweater, and like, dude, this bear. I mean, there's the rest of this bag is also cute, but this bear, the death of me. Look at his tiny legs. Oh my gosh. I'm dying. So there's also bunnies and foxes and deers and squirrels and again, hedgehogs and mushrooms. I mean, right? Come on. I'm in. So cute. And then this sweet town. This reminds me so much of like a Strega Nona kind of a, like, oh, it's Strega Nona winter. Don't get covered in spaghetti. Don't let the pasta pot get you. Aww. Right, so enjoyable. And then I'm going to try a few wool bags. So this round is going to be sweater size bags. And this will just be like an introduction. And then, I don't know, if you guys like them, if you're interested, I'll start doing them in more sizes. And maybe even in the leather handled bags. I do think they'll be very charming in that. And I have some beautiful, I'm looking at it right now. I have some beautiful wool Melton that is just like scrummy. It would be really sweet for the handled bags, I think. I know it would be. But so we'll see if you guys like these and then we'll go from there. So these are they both Pendletons? I think they're both Pendleton wool. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they're both Pendleton. So we have this beautiful, and I have felted these slightly. So I've washed them and dried them. So that gives them just a little bit more body and should hopefully make it, if you need to spot wash or anything, you're not going to have any issues with like irregular shrinkage. But like, right? I mean, if you don't want any of these bags, it's okay. I'll just make myself some overalls. But, and then this. Oh, it's so scrumptious. Like, I know, so it's got blue in it, like a blue and like kind of like a fawnish gray, like a taupey gray, and then a darker. Like, that's one of those things where I'm like, is it gray or is it brown? I can't tell, but I think it's gray. But maybe it's brown. I think it just depends on how you look at it. So yeah, so these again are the sweater size, which is what I usually use, up to 5 skeins. They're pretty big guys. Oh, one difference about these, they will not come with like a standard handle that I usually do, because it just, the wool does not work. Like, the wool is has too much body to do that with. So there will be some sort of zipper pull. I haven't decided yet if it's going to be one of two things. And so I haven't quite decided yet which one it'll be. But there will be just like a small leather zipper pull. So yeah. So that'll be the difference. Yeah, so sweet. I'm very excited about them. I get to keep these because these are samples. Just saying. So again, that's December 1st. My website is fatsquirrelfibers.com. You can find links to it in the YouTube below. And you can find links there if you'd like to become a patron of the podcast, if you'd like to chat with us. during virtual knit nights, things like that. But like, I totally understand if you got other things going on, because don't we all? Anyway, if you do Thanksgiving, I hope you have peace in your day. Well, I hope you all have peace in your day tomorrow at some point. Like a 3-minute window would be great, but like, I hope you get more. But I hope you find peace in your day. And I will talk to you next time.